Hey, it is your buddy. Peace and harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all of the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. I am super excited for this video. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is to talk about a little bit about the insecurity of the narcissist. And really, that's a great topic because you have to understand that that's really their big secret. A narcissist, a covert narcissist, a malignant narcissist, they are all running around the planet with a big secret. They can be very secretive. They have one secret, they might have 5 secrets, and you'll never know how they feel about it because they don't really let anyone in there. It's just like a key. There's only one, and they got it, and they really don't share ownership of that key. They feel very controlled, or quote unquote feel that they are being possessed or in a relationship with someone who is possessive, meaning, wanting that's the narcissist interpretation. So they tend to interpret even normal closeness as someone wanting to encroach on their space, someone kind of dimming their light. And instead of really their insecurity at being discussed, their fear, being discussed, which is very real to them. If anything, you might get a little wisp of it if, it's something that they can joke about. So oftentimes they'll use very sort of sarcastic humor, sort of where they throw themselves under the bus in a very ingratiating manner. I forgot what that's called. When someone, I think the English do this a lot in the UK, they tend to not ridicule themselves, but talk sarcastically about themselves and put themselves down, but it makes people laugh. I'm not sure, maybe you guys in UK kind of know what that is. But the narcissist, so they might allude to some sort of insecurity. Well, I'm just afraid to commit. I'm just like any other guy. They just sort of fit themselves in. Or I'm just like any other woman wanting to be protective of myself. That's why I can't trust you with my kids right now. So they'll have these they might kind of be very sarcastic. So it might have a very sardonic, just sort of pointed speech. Just it's kind of not meant to be discussed. Like usually, wouldn't you want someone to be open and honest with you? The narcissist, that's not, they have a lot of concealment, a lot of things in the back drawers, if you will. And then the mask is basically so that they can appear as if they are a know-it-all, a be-it-all. They can't really, they're not very open to others' suggestions, but they are certainly willing to dole them out. They will dole out what other people need to change your hair, change your job, change your whatever, your weight, but if it's, held back accountable to them, if it's a two-way street, you'll find them getting the narcissistic rage. You'll get a very sour response. So they don't want to be, they feel very overwhelmed deep inside by these secrets, things that they are unsavory, things about their past, mistakes that they have made, things that they don't want to admit about. Come clean. As they say, the truth will set you free. The narcissist is always a prisoner of their own insecurity. In their private of private, they are very, very tight-lipped with discussing their fears because they feel it will ruin their image, their reputation. They will, if there's any chink in the armor or crack in the mask, it could. It's very overwhelming. It creates a lot of emotional insecurity. They oftentimes don't feel that they can get a realistic or pragmatic handle on. So then there's the overcompensation. The distance, the stonewalling, acting as if they know everything and that you can't tell them anything. They don't really take suggestions from others the way normally people need to take suggestions or just to listen to others. So they can be and act as if they are a know-it-all. And so oftentimes people then will say, wow, well, then they must know everything about music, or they might, and so they just give this status to the narcissist, where they don't realize that they're, like a previous awesome viewer stated, that you don't realize that you are being censored while they're going uncensored. So they cause people to sort of trip up on their own desires and their own position and confuse them with that. And so they basically take you down as their competition. They are all about the win and coming out really looking good. It's to them, it's all about appearances, the superficial. Even if it's not real, it's just business as usual for them. This is just what they do. They put on the happy face, they put on the poker face, they put on whatever. This is just what they do. And so sometimes you might feel that there's something missing between the two of you because you never really get to interact and have a relationship with the real gut of that person. They are too fearful. So that's why you see all these other manipulation tactics that are to divert attention and relating to them in the real. Even though if it would be beneficial for them, they aren't going to go there. This is part of the problem, and it creates a lot of stress on others. So it's really, I feel it's instead of them admitting, instead of them coming clean, instead of them being honest, I really feel that they can't even admit certain things to themselves. I think sometimes they get a little bit glimpse of it and they get very fearful. They get have very dark times, and then they just really go into building up more of that narcissist, where they get in even more grandiose. And you might see them making big decisions, like getting married right away, or just spending $20,000 on something that might help might help their recording studio or something. Just these outlandish things which are ego based, but not oftentimes real solid and liberating based. So they kind of build a little cocoon or such for themselves, even though to the opposite is oftentimes they don't want to state that they're in a cocoon. They don't want to admit. They don't want to put their heart out there. They feel that they're putting their heart on the chopping block, so to speak. They just don't. It's not a common. There's so much going on that you don't see. That's part of the problem. Once again, it's like the tip of the iceberg. You only see the top, but there's all sorts of stuff going on underneath and in the background. And so you have to realize that they are operating with a lot of secrets, and they feel very secretive about their secrets. It's not like, and they might say, well, can I trust you with some secrets? So this might have been part of the trauma bond, in these sort of sharing of secrets, and I won't tell anybody. And then you kind of get this Bonnie and Clyde, just sort of you and me against the world, or, it's in this fairy tale, this castle that's been built up in the mind, which is very oftentimes does feel and does exist like a fairy tale, but it's short-lived and it doesn't have the substance to carry it through to the next level, because you've got this cognitive dissonance issue, where they're going to shriek away from quote unquote being found out, that they're a human being, so they want to act as if they're bigger than life, greater than life, greater than the law, will just do odd things that put people in the shock, and then you're like, okay. So ask yourself about, I would say also ask yourself about what kind of secrets has this then created for you as a response in the relationship, because that secretiveness, I think it's also going to cause secretiveness in the other partner. Maybe secretness of just doubt, or secretness of, I should let this go, but you don't oftentimes want to listen to those words, because it's an ultimatum to you, or it's very decisive, or you don't know then what the next, where if that's A, what's B and C and D, all the way through 100, So you have to ask yourself, to what degree then has this created a secret side or a secretive part of you that you are sort of keeping locked away, and that you feel you have to, sort of hide a little bit, and just to sort of keep in that hidden bubble, oftentimes of just sort of drumming up the past, or worried about them, or are they moved on yet? And then, So it's a lot of this intermixed thoughts, which makes it difficult to move on. But it's to know that important for you is that you come to term with, are there any secrets that you're trying to keep from yourself? And how do you feel about them? Is it secrets that this is the only person I'll ever have? I mean, what are these secrets that you feel, or I've already given this person so much, I really shouldn't back down now? Or maybe it's just me being a little bit more assertive, or the other secrets, like I should have taken this, made this decision a couple months ago or a couple years ago, and here I'm revisiting it again. So sometimes you have to understand to what degree is the relationship causing too much pressure, stress, and difficulty, and then leading to toxicity. It's imbalance. So this is a symptom. It's a symptom that there is something wrong, and the narcissist, you have to be able to admit things, even though it's embarrassing. You made a mistake. I'm sorry. If you always have to appear as if perfect, like the narcissist, you're not ever really going to feel sorry. You might say, they might say, I apologize. They might not say, I'm sorry. It's just little subtle things that creates a lot of a plethora of other issues that you need to be sensitive and aware of, to understand why this all has unfolded for you in your life and in your relationship the way that it has. So you have to then ask, what are my secrets that I have had sort of tucked away along the way? Was there a red flag that I didn't see? Was there something that I didn't admit? Did I cross a line and I did know better? Did I cross the line because I didn't know better? So take stock of some of these things. I should have, put my foot down then, or I should have, paid attention to that this is, too much on me, or too difficult. So seeing that, these relationships, yes, relationships can be work, but it doesn't have to be all work and displeasure and then fighting over, a narcissist who feels that because you're trying to have a relationship with them, that you're being possessive, or, that's their perception. Once again, the narcissist needs to be free roaming. I mean, a psychopath unequivocally, I mean, they're just free roaming as any chicken you'll ever want to meet. I mean, the world is their pasture. I mean, they'll just go and get whatever it is that they want. If they're lazy, then they might not do much, and they just will live and sponge off of others. But, realize that this, so that you can learn, to what degree did I then become secretive in this relationship and live in denial to myself? Because that becomes also a coping mechanism. People then, and then it can even be lying to themselves. The way that a narcissist will lie to themselves, then the other supply will then pick up a similar energetic pattern. I feel that they, in order to keep going in the relationship to a certain degree, if you keep suppressing these feelings or these red flags, oh, I don't want to see it, they're too pretty, I don't want to see it, they're too cute, I don't want to see it, they're too talented, I don't want to see it, they're, whatever, this is my whatever relationship, I don't want to see this is not good. The truth will set you free. So oftentimes I feel the narcissist is just sort of entrapped in their own securities, and so it limits them in relationships. And so if you're experiencing that limitation, a lot of that is because they're covering up, they're concealing their insecurities, the things that usually will bring people closer together. If you have an insecurity, oh man, I didn't know you worried about that. Me too. Oh man, no, you don't have to worry at all. Same with you. That's what you open it up, and then you go, man, I can't believe, and then you have these normal discussions. That's what you work out in relationships. It's like, you're in it together. So you oftentimes don't have we're in it together with a narcissist. And if so, there's always something that they're going to exploit or try to get around when you're like, I think we need to be like everybody else and just do this. And then they're like, nope, not me. So, it's just very, very overwhelming. And so look at to what degree it has created any sort of secrecy in you. What exactly is that? And how do you feel about these secrets? and what do you really want to do to get them out so that they don't continue to nag at you subconsciously. It's a great exercise. I hope this liberates you. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out. Have a beautiful day. You got this.